Today we're going to be talking about leads and specifically a lead generation program. So we're not going to be going over anything to do with how to handle leads. No training today. No system. I'm not going to show you the system in terms of how to generate leads or how to qualify, how to convert. I'm not going to show you the system of nurturing. None of that. Today's discussion is strictly on how are we as a company going to provide a system for lead generation. And we've done different things in the past. I've always been a proponent of creating your own leads. The problem with creating your own leads nowadays is, of course, knowledge of the systems, knowledge of how to do it. Also competition. Right now, everyone is lead generating. The reality is, if you thought, picture real estate back in, let's say, the early 2000s, let's say 20 years ago, where lead generation wasn't happening. There was no online leads. What we were doing was getting out there and door knocking. And we're cold calling, and we're doing all the good things. But to get a prospect, to get a lead, we were doing things to initiate those sort of lead generation systems through face-to-face, all the rest. The way that I could describe online leads now as it compares to back then is picture yourself on a street today, door knocking, and every fifth door has another agent door knocking it. Okay, and as you get to that fifth door, 10 other people have knocked on that door. That is what we're experiencing right now in lead gen. We're experiencing an astronomical amount of people that are using Google leads, using Facebook leads, to the point where, again, back 15 years ago, I started maybe 16, something like it was 15, 16 years ago I started. And I did do Facebook leads 15 years ago. And for $1 spent, I would get a lead, right? $30, 30 leads. It was $1 a lead. Though that number is now up to $25. So it's 25 times the ad spend that it used to be. So the competition is 25 times greater than it was when it first started. And that's what you're looking at. So there is opportunities out there. The reality is, if you went door knocking, it doesn't matter. 1 in 10, you'd probably still get a percentage of the people. And currently that percentage is around 1%. So 100 leads that come in off your website, if you're good at converting leads, and I mean good, meaning you can have those conversations and not just hang up the phone and say, okay, no problem, have a nice day. You're able to have a conversation and ask open-ended questions in order to convert that lead. The reality is 1% of those 100, so 1 out of 100, 1 is convertible, which means you have that opportunity to convert 1 out of 100. Think about the time spent for 100 leads, and keep in mind that conversion of 1 in 100 will come to fruition in 8 months. Okay, 8 to 12 months is an average time to come to fruition. So it's a very, very competitive market. And here I am with a program for you. I'm actually setting your expectation levels. Everyone is doing lead gen. Everyone wants to do lead gen. So what I'm suggesting today is to have a look at our program, and we're going to make a very good program in order to satisfy the need for another source of income, which happens to be online lead gen. Okay, so that's another source of income. You're going to do 1 or 2 or 3 deals a year from this source if you put in the effort, time, and money to do it. It's the same thing as doing open houses. It's the same thing as putting an ad in the paper. It's the same thing as going door knocking and cold calling and doing networking, and your sphere of influence is the highest percentage. But you need to have a good foundational setup in your business in order to do well at lead gen, because you need to have a good sphere of influence program set up that when you do meet a lead and you interact and you show some properties, that they're still receiving stuff from you. You transact, you sell the house, you get 2 referrals off of them. 5 years from now, you sell their house again, you get 2 more referrals after them. And after 10 years, that 1%, the 1 of 100, turned into 5 or 10 deals because you had a good foundational sphere of influence program in order to nurture them over that time period. So that's the way that lead generation works. 1 lead turns into 5, and this is your business. But make sure you have a good foundational program set up. So I'm going to get into the details of the lead gen program, but I wanted to preface that with the fact that it is all about lead conversion now. It's not just about creating the leads. There are lots of people online searching for houses. That's where everybody's at. So that's why everybody is searching online, trying to get that lead to interact on their website. Even though there's 10,000 sites in Ontario, there's more than that. there's at least 50,000, no, 60,000 in the GTA, because that's TREB. So there's probably 100,000 websites in Ontario that are out there right now, minimum, right? That's not additional sites and etc. So that's a big pool of people that are vying for that one client to interact with or to get a lead. Now, the good news is that 95% of the leads that are generated online are not followed up. Those 5% that are followed up are only followed up once. And then out of that once, maybe 2% are followed up 4 times, 1% is followed up 8 times, and it takes 8 times in order to do the 95% of the business. So the fact is that you have to have a good system in place. You have to have a good nurturing system in place in order to automate some stuff that you're not going to be able to keep in top of. So you do need a good platform. And you need to make sure that you're continuously following up and contacting. And we're going to teach you how to do that. Anyone part of our lead gen program will get once a month calls that we will be on a Zoom call going through how the process is happening, what sort of lead conversion we're looking at, how to handle those leads, what to say, all the different tips and tricks in lead gen. Okay, so we are starting this program. We know that this is a small percentage of our business. Currently, it's under 4%. We know this because we do the statistics. And under 4% is going to be what we're going to focus on right now, because we have spent 85 to 90% of our time focusing on the foundational stuff with the sphere of influence. And now it's time to add in a few different things. We've done open houses, we've done door knocking, cold calling, now we're doing lead gen. So let me bring up our program and go through it with you. What the lead generation program with Remarketer. Now we're using the Remarketer platform because they have a lead gen component to it. And we want to dominate areas where pay-per-click typically is done on an individual basis. We're going to take the strength in numbers and the power of many in order to put together a lead gen platform with Google that will have a higher efficiency rate, which means more leads will come to you because we're going to band together and have a large campaign budget. Okay, that's the point. If you were to take any other lead gen program currently on the market, what you're doing is you're doing your own campaign. They're setting you up on your own Google, your own account, sometimes on their account, but a separate campaign for you specifically. And what they're doing is they're spending the ad spend, and that ad spend, if it's $500, is $500 worth of leads, right? Or actually, it's less than that because there's going to be fees, but you're going to get those leads based on the fact of a campaign that's worth 500. If we put a campaign on Google today and it's 10,000, Google will give us higher priority ranking, right? It's like the big shot at an auction, right? Guy walks in with $1 million in his pocket and starts bidding on things. They're going to take that bid as more serious bid, right? Because that person has more weight. Now it's still a bid, but the fact is that Google still sees that as a priority campaign. They're still going to be able to outperform the other campaigns based on the ad spend. So what's this going to do for you? It's going to be easier, more efficient way to drive leads to your platform. We're going to give ongoing training and support to convert, okay, and make the most out of your leads. Conversion is everything. It's not about the leads, it's about the conversion. I can give 10 leads to one person that converts 1 in 10. Is better than giving it to somebody who can't convert and giving 100 leads and doing 1 out of 100, right? So you have to make sure that you're doing certain things and doing them well. Geographical targeting to focus on leads in your general business area. There's no sense in getting a lead. If I was servicing, let's say, northern regions, which is Newmarket, Aurora, et cetera, and I got a lead in Brampton, there's no way I'm going to be able to convert that lead in Brampton. It's impossible. It really, really, really is. And it's not good for your business either. You're outside of the area. You don't know the area. You're not able to convince them that you know the area. You just will not convert it. If you did convert it, you probably do it very poorly. So you're not also going to get extra business. And the fact is you spent a lot of time driving out to Brampton in order to do a lot of business that you could have been doing twice as many in your own area. So there's a lot of different reasons why your area is so important. The automated lead nurturing to produce higher conversions and save time. So the automated system, the system that we have with Remarketer, is going to is able to efficiently send out alerts, buyer alerts, seller alerts. We're going to show you how to get those working in your system. There's been a lot of questions of how to do that. So there's some people that have upgraded to that lead nurturing program and have turned, let's say, seller leads on or buyer leads on, and it isn't sending them daily because there's certain settings that have to be set up. Now, the good news is when a lead comes into the system, it already identifies it as a lead. The most important thing in our system, in the Remarketer system, is to make sure to identify it properly as a lead, and then it will send out daily instead of weekly or monthly, etc. So those auto lead nurturing things will happen, and then you're going to need to make some phone calls, and you're going to need to really stay on top of that. So setting reminders, coming to your laptop every day, looking at your reminders and your task list in order to make sure that those things are happening. So we're going to help you with that. So how do you engage? How do you sign up for the program? First of all, you need to upgrade to the lead master level, and you can do that today. So you log into the Remarketer system, upgrade to that lead master level in the payment section. I can show you that today as well, if you're not already upgraded. So that needs to happen. That is a cost of $80. It's typically $160, but because we do have the half of it being paid by the company, it is $80 instead of $160. You do need to sign up for the lead generation program in the broker hub. Now that portion will be active as of Monday. Okay, this is a process. Today's information, Monday sign up, and Thursday is implementation of the program. So we're going to show you on Monday or next Thursday as to what you're going to be seeing, how you're going to see it, and what you should do with it. And then as of November 1st is when that lead funnel will be turned on. Okay, so that's how to do that now. So that's going to be as of Monday, this portion. The terms. So we do billing cycles monthly. We're going to start the program as we have the people on the program monthly. So as of November 1st, we're going to have a certain amount of people in the program. It's going to commence the first of every month. So you'll need to, first of all, let us know before the month commences. And then make sure, or when you do sign up, you're going to be giving a 2-month commitment. Okay. So you need to go through the first month and then the second month. And if you want to, let's say stop or cancel, you're going to need to let us know 15 days prior to the start of the next month's billing cycle. Okay, we have an organizational system in place. We need to make sure that the people that have paid for it is on it for the next month, and we need to make sure it starts efficiently. And we can't have on and off. So, which means throughout the month, you can't on the 15th of the month to say, I'm stopping as of today. I want my $250 back, right? So half the month. So partial months are not permissible. You will receive leads for that month, and it's non-refundable. We just can't have a situation where, I didn't like the quality of the leads, or the fact is it's on auction basis. You can't guarantee whether or not you're going to get 10 leads this month or 20 leads or 50 leads or 100 leads. We will eventually get to the point where we'll know sort of where our ad is sitting and how many leads we'll be able to get. And maybe Ali, who should be on the call today, I'm going to bring him on in a minute just to kind of add anything there. He has done these ads in the past, and he can give you sort of an idea how it works and answer any questions. So the cost of the program, the monthly platform upgrade fee of the $80 is what you'll pay for the platform. So that's for the lead gen, and you will be billed credit card apostrophe solutions. So that is done through that payment section, which you can do today. So you can upgrade for the $80. You're good to go. The monthly ad spend is what we're going to manage. So we as Century 21 Heritage Group will be using our Google accounts. We will be spending the money, and we will be collecting it from you with a valid credit card on file. Okay. Because of credit card charges, overhead fees, just to administer the program, there is a 5% administration fee for ad spend only. So for $500, it'll be $25 in admin fee. We had to do this because of the credit card charges as well as administrative of the program. There's actually a lot more into the administration than you think. So we're going to be obviously writing the ads, maintaining the ads, as well as bringing people on and off the program, hopefully collecting all the money, There will be also making sure that, there's always bad debt, right? As you would know in real estate with tenants, sometimes tenants don't pay. So we also have to take that into account. But we're trying to administer this program with no profit to us other than to provide you with leads. And it's a win-win. If you guys do business, we do business, right? And we've always looked at ourselves that way. If you win, we win. If we win, you win, that sort of thing. So geotargeting areas. These are the areas that you'd be signing up for. So for $500, you will be able to target. We've got 3 different areas. The north, which is Georgina, West Gwillimbury, East Gwillimbury, Newmarket, Aurora, and New Tecumseh. And then you've got the south, which is Oak Ridges, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, and Markham. And then you've got the west, which is our Hamilton office with Burlington and Hamilton. We do have some, I'm sure, questions about the Burlington Hamilton in terms of what we're doing on our platform for stats, as well as things like home evaluation. Currently, the problem out in Hamilton, of course, is that their board does not provide sold stats. So it's very difficult for us to come up with some of this stat information. We are currently working on stats with Hamilton. We should have that rectified shortly. There may be just some generic changes that we need to make in the advertising in order to, just to make sure that that we're giving the information, quality information to generate leads, right? So we're doing it through things like, automatic home evaluation, different sections of, lists, landing page lists and stuff like that we'll be able to create within in order to get people to engage and search properties on the site. So we are going to do everything we can to make sure those quality leads. I've been doing lead generation over 15 years now. I've tried every program. I know the differences between them. I know what works and what doesn't work. And I know that it's very important that it's very localized. The leads that if you're going to spend money, they better be spent on quality ads that make sense for that area. I've seen too many programs where they're non-Canadian based or non-Ontario based or even like Toronto Hamilton based that essentially just do these generic ads, and it really has very little to do with the area that they're advertising in. So we'll be able to really hone down that lead and do the best to get the leads flowing. But there's no guarantee as the amount of leads, obviously, and provided the quality of leads as well. I think we also have had enough time now with people using lead gen programs to know that online leads suck. Let's be honest. And so does door knocking. So let's be honest. I mean, it's never easy, and it's never, you just have to go in with the expectation is, 99% suck. 1% is the one that's going to transact with you. But you have to be there, and you have to do the same thing with 99 of them in order to get the one. I've been on different programs. Even Pam, who's going to be also a part of this, she has sat on the board of directors the advisory board for Zoocasa and Zolo when they were not brokerages, and giving them direction as to how to get the conversions happening. I've been on the tech committee for many different systems, including Century 21's and helping them through their problems that they're experiencing. Sometimes they listen and sometimes they don't. But the reality is that we're experienced, and Ali's been doing this and with his program with his company Apostrophe Solutions for many years. So you've got good people working on it and specifically working on these areas. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leverage the size of us, leverage the ad spend, and leverage the knowledge of the people working on the program. Debbie as well, who's been doing lead generation for the past 3 years. I'm going to throw that number out as if I know exactly what it is, but it's let's say 3 years. She's going to be helping to administer the program, making sure that the leads are set up, making sure that she answers any questions and gets answers for you. And it's going to be all rotational round robin basis. We're not handing out leads. The system will be not selecting. It will be round robin. So if there's 10 people a part of the program, and there's $10,000 ad spend, the first person gets the first lead, second, third, fourth, all the way up to 10, and it just continuously rotates those leads. And it's a numbers game. Lead gen is a numbers game as it relates to leads and conversions, but there's skill involved, obviously, that we will be teaching you. So,
Well,
Ali, do you want to add anything to anything that I've mentioned there? Did I?
yeah, so you pretty much covered the whole thing. I can just explain a little bit about the experience that we've had and the difference in the initiatives that we're taking here. Obviously, as you mentioned, the Lead Master package provides an aspect that is a key here, which is the nurturing component to the the whole lead generation approach that we have here. Plus many more features. So with that $80 that you're paying for the upgrade, it's not just the lead nurturing that you're getting so many other features added to your program as well, like instant CMAs and stuff. So those are also added to your package. But what we're focusing on in this session would be obviously lead nurturing. It's one of the things that Aaron mentioned is the fact that the competition is fierce out there in terms of lead generation. There are just a few industries that are just, on a different planet when it comes to the amount spent for lead generation. Obviously, industries like car insurance, for example, they're crazy. You see billions of dollars in that industry being spent on online advertising. And real estate is right up there as well. It's one of those industries with a lot of competition. Aaron gave some numbers that can really show the picture there. But the other aspect in real estate, which is important to understand in terms of being able to differentiate the fact it's very different in real estate to generate leads and to convert them to business because of the nature of the business as well. We get a lot of complaints that when a lead is generated and our clients or any one of you who've done that in the past call them up, the usual answer is that, yeah, we're just thinking about it and we're not really that serious. It's because of the way the business is, the way the industry is, and from the time that a lead is generated, that's when they're just weighing their options and seeing what's going on and what could be their options for their future. The most important decision that you want to make in your lifetime. So, and it takes months or sometimes even years for them to get to a point that they say, okay, now's the time to go ahead and look at properties, and now I need a realtor to walk me through this process. So this long period of time would be the key here. We need to be able to address that, and with as Aaron mentioned, with just 1 or 2 or 3 follow-ups, it's not going to happen. You need to be persistent, and obviously we can't just dedicate our time to calling leads every day. That's why the nurturing process, the nurturing feature is going to help us keep the engagement on a higher level, so that we can, we can take up the possibility of making conversions in the leads that we're generating. So this is one aspect which is unique from any other efforts that are being made out there. It's mainly when realtors are generating leads, they're focusing on numbers only so that they can increase their chances of finding that 1%, which is going to say, okay, let's meet up and see what you have to offer. But that's not it. We want to increase the number of leads that can, over time, be positive towards working with us. That's one aspect of it. The other thing is the initiative that we're taking with Century 21 Heritage in order to create a collective approach to the advertising itself. It's true that the way that Google AdWords, for example, works is auction based, and there are thousands of people in that room bidding for the clicks that they're looking for. So the first challenge that we would face here is to how do we get that bid? How do we get that click in a bid that happens in a fraction of a second? It's a very brutal system, and it's basically whoever is able to offer more is going to get this lead here. Now, Google AdWords is quite expensive, so per click we're spending close to in some occasions even more than $1 per click, not per lead, per click, and that's huge. So we want to be able to compete there. Now, if you imagine an agent with $500 budget in an ad spend, which is a good, healthy amount, they get 500 clicks usually on average in a Google AdWords, and that's just a few hours in a day. If you split it across the day, that's just I think it's like $20 a day or $18 a day. So they just get 18 clicks a day, and that's it. So the budget quickly exhausts, and therefore you don't have the option to to get the best of the leads that might happen throughout the day. And the bigger guys usually get that. And this is the key here. We are creating a pool that if 10 people come together, now we have a budget of $5,000 instead of $500, which is going to have a much, much higher leverage in terms of generating better quality leads, and obviously more leads. It's not a linear thing that if I spend $1,000, I'll get twice as many leads that I would get if I were spending 500 leads. I'd get more because it's generating more traffic for me, it's giving me more credibility, and it's also giving me more chances in terms of me bidding for those higher quality leads out there, which are the key. So the performance is going to be much, much better. This is what we had experienced before. The performance and the number of leads and the quality of leads are going to be much better than if you were spending that same amount of money individually on a lone island there. So we're going to be the big guys out there. We're going to be the ones who are going to outbid everybody else that are competing with us. And honestly, if we have enough people joining these round robins, we can even outweigh big, huge companies when looking at local focuses that we have. So the amount of money spent in Richmond Hill, for example, we could even be bigger than House Sigmas and Zillows and those kind of guys. So it's really something that's going to put us on the map as one of the few main players in the game. So that's the big thing that we have right there. And obviously we're going to have some trainings and sessions in which we can discuss how to configure the system more efficiently and properly, so that we can engage with those leads better, and obviously how to proceed with the matter of communications and follow-ups and everything, so that we can increase the conversions at the other end as well.
I want everyone to look at this as a $6,000 a year investment into lead gen, and we all have different things that we do as a business plan every year. We sit down and go through the business plan, say I'm going to spend $1,500 a year on my newsletter program. That's the highest return on your investment is your newsletter, bar none. Every business plan should have a newsletter sent out to a sphere of influence. Excuse me. If you want to do lead gen, $6,000. That's what you're going to do. Now that $6,000 is going to get you a lot of leads and a lot of opportunity to hone in on your skill. Even if it's just, let's say you did a whole year and didn't get one conversion, but the next year you're that good at handling calls. You spent $6,000 to be a top lead converter. And I think any one of us would do that. If I say, listen, it would cost you $6,000, but because in real estate, the thing you have to look at is how much money a real estate agent can potentially make. Let's say the average agent is making $80,000 a year, but on the top end, people are making $200,000-300,000. What is $6,000 to be really good at what you do? What is $6,000 as an ad spend in order to do an extra 2-3 deals a year, which is going to make an extra $30,000-40,000? If you were to give me $6,000, but I was to hand you back $30,000-40,000, that's a pretty good return on your investment. Now, keep in mind, there's spin-off business, referrals, things that you can get off of those 3 deals for the next 5-10 years. So that's 40,000 is going to turn into 400,000 in the end. But that's how it works. That's how the numbers work. You need to have a return on your investment. You spend 6,000, you're going to make 60,000. I always look for about a 10 times return. I mean, I really do. And in lead gen, it's definitely doable. But look at it as a yearly ad budget. And you should do that on every sphere of influence. You should look at it as, ad spend in a magazine if you wanted to do a magazine, because I know a lot of you do the magazines and stuff. It's just another return on your investment. So look at it as a long-term goal. Really don't just look to jump in and jump out and see if it works, because it's not going to work. I'll tell you right now, right, Ali? I mean, how many people you see get jump in, jump out? It's just not going to work. If you do it long-term and you get good at it, that's when it works.
That's the biggest thing, and the reason why I was saying that, it's the nature of the business. It'll take time for people to convert. That's real estate. I mean, I always have an example here. I mean, imagine yourself when you want to buy a pair of shoes, you walk into a store, and that's the time that the lead has been generated for that store. Until the time that you make the purchase, it'll just take about half an hour or an hour. So it's a manageable period of time where you can convert them. But in real estate, it's long. It's going to take much longer. It's minimum 5 to 6 months for someone to be able to get ready to express interest in working with a real estate agent. So that's just the nature of the business, and it's going to take long, as well as the fact that we need to have, it's a numbers game as well. We need to have enough numbers in our plate, enough leads in our plate, in order to be able to find the ones that would be willing to work with us. The system can only help finding those people, filtering those people, engaging with them, and elevating the chance factor. But at the end of the day, it's for us to be able to stay with these people long enough in order to be able to get some business out of it. And we in our past experience, we've had agents who would come in, spend a couple of $1,000s, and just say, no, I'm not getting any business out of it, and leaving. That's just not rational way to look at this whole strategy. It's going to be a new channel of business, but it can definitely not serve as the main channel of the business, and therefore, for the very reason that we need to be a little bit patient with the outcomes.
And I hope everybody understands that. We're not trying to sell you on this. I'm not. Anybody who's ever talked to me about lead gen, I'll tell you the actual real truth of it. And I've done it. And I think that's the reason why. It's just, I've gone through it. I have spent the thousands and thousands. I can show you my Facebook account that still has the old ad spend I used to do and all the rest of it. I mean, I've gone through it all. I know it does work. I know it doesn't work. And I know also that things can change. But the craziness of people going out and thinking that they're going to join, let's say, a system where they're going to give half their money, which is 50% of everything they make, back to somebody who's going to give them leads, is craziness. I see people doing this. They're joining teams at 50% commission split. And then on top of that, they're paying the brokerage. And this is crazy. I mean, why not spend $5,000 or $6,000 to make 40,000 rather than going out there and giving half your money? So making $100,000 and giving 50,000 back to the person who generated the leads, which they only spent 5,000. It's just craziness. So now I know that everything has a budget, everything has a plan. Every business out there, you have to spend money to make money, and it's either that or spend a lot of time to make money in real estate. So it's time or money, and in this case, it's both. I mean, you're spending some time, but for the most part, this is a budget. This is return on investment, and this is what you need to look at it as.
There's another thing that you need to know that is quite interesting in this initiatives, and that is most of the other brokerages, not a lot of them, but the other brokerages that have lead generation systems in place for their agents. It's done, the whole process is done on the brokerage side, and then they just toss the leads over to the agents. The two problems here. Number one being that most of the agents that we've talked to in those brokerages, they don't trust that system because it goes through the brokerage, and they usually think that they suspect that the best of them goes to some people, and then just the stuff that aren't really important are being passed over to us, which is in some cases a valid point. The second thing is that the agent does not get any benefits in terms of the traffic itself, because that's part of lead generation as well. It's not just the lead that's being generated, it's the exposure and the branding that we're doing here as well. And with the unique structure that we have in place for Century 21 Heritage, every one of the agents, and that's why we have the Lead Master upgrade here, every one of the agents, the participants in the program, is going to have their own capacity of nurturing. So it's not like the brokerage is nurturing and then giving you the lead and they say, okay, now you call them. It's the brokerage is basically passing the lead over to you from day one, so that the process of nurturing happens with your name on it, with your website on it, with your domain on it. So even if you don't convert those leads, this is going to bring valuable SEO results for you, very, very valuable SEO results for you, because you're getting engaging traffic on your website. All the emails, all the nurturing content is going to be branded to you, going out through your system. All the responses are going to come directly to you. So this is what sets it apart from every other brokerage that is, passing along leads to their agents. Because what we're doing is that we're generating the lead right into your system directly.
Yeah, and to your point, Alec, and I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to mention it. It's not something that I've put on paper because it is not something that is it can be quantified and guaranteed by any means. But currently, the way that we deal with leads that come into our company, we do not do it by a favoritism system. Debbie looks after our leads that comes through and has qualified agents that know the areas, that have listing presentations, buying presentations, have lead nurturing, etc. And she hands out we've done that for years. So it's not the manager doesn't hand out the lead. It's our lead coordinator that looks after that. That's what's been done in the past. As we move forward with this program, the people that are engaging with the program, people are using it and have lead nurturing and have the training and everything we're providing, are also going to be the ones that we're going to engage and give the leads to that are not generated by the lead program. So we are going to make sure that you're getting additional bonus leads. And again, it's not something I never like to guarantee that you're going to get a certain amount, because we just don't know what comes in, right? But as things do come in, they want to see a property and they're not using an agent, we will be handing those leads to the ones that are on the program, because those are the most qualified and trained people that know how to convert leads. And we're a sales organization. It's not about being fair. It's about giving it to the person that we think that can convert the lead, bottom line. So those new agents that get the lease leads, yeah, it's to help you guys as new agents with leases as potentials. And the ones that get the big problem, yeah, those are the big agents that know how to convert and are going to get that listing, right? We pay for these leads. Everything we put, we pay salary for an inside salesperson with Debbie. We pay for all this sort of stuff. So we need to generate business from this. So these are the things that we will. Now, those leads that are specifically generated, we will deal with on an individual basis, and we will be having that conversation with you. But this is now going to be a basis of our lead gen program. Okay.